Hi guys, welcome to this tutorial on the Meta Body tool. This is the third tutorial in the series. So this time we're going to be looking at using the save slots and also using sequencer. So first subject we're going to look at is using the save slots. And if I click play here, you're going to notice that we've got quite a number of save slots listed here. And these two characters are using slot 3. There's also another slot here, slot 8, which has a slightly taller character with some slightly different modifications. So let's say, for example, we want to have a different customization for different characters, okay? Because we might not want to have all our characters using the same customization because like I've said earlier, if we go to slot 8, we've got a different customization there, but both characters are switching to that customization. So we want a situation where we have maybe slot 3 on one character here and slot 8 on another character over there. Okay. So the way we can do that is if we go to our Meta Body tool folder here, we've got the animations folder, and we've got the animation BP, anim BP body tool. This is the main animation blueprint we use for making the changes to our characters. If you've watched the earlier videos, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, this might sound a little bit confusing to you. So I recommend you watch especially the first video, which is the overview and tutorial video for using Meta Body tool. Basically covers all the basics so that you understand how everything works. Okay. So anyway, as I said earlier, this is the main blueprint that we use for making modifications to the body. Okay. We've also got the slot-specific child animation blueprints in this folder. Okay. We've got slot 1 here, slot 2, slot 3. So these animation blueprints are just locked to specific slots. Okay. So for example, if I use slot 3 here, okay, if I apply the anim BP child slot 3 to, for example, this character, it will mean that this character is only going to use slot 3, okay? And as a result, if I switch to slot 8 will not be used on this character. It will only be using slot 3. So I'm going to show you how to do that now, okay? So I'm going to right-click on slot 3, okay? And then I'm going to retarget slot 3. So retarget animation assets, duplicate and retarget animation assets. Okay. And I'm going to choose an IK rig. I usually use the Mannequins IK rig. It always has the best results for me. So RTG Mannequin. Don't choose that. And I'm going to leave, okay, no, I won't leave it. Probably I can, but anyway, I'll just choose dummy under the skeleton mesh. Okay, SK dummy under Meta Body tools. Okay, it can be found if you open Meta Body tool, skeleton meshes, SK dummy, and you can just load that there. Okay, and as a target, we're going to use the MetaHuman base skeleton. So I'll just type base. Okay, it won't. Actually, I just got confused there. I was looking for the skeleton. I need to find the mesh. Okay. So what I'll do is instead I'll click on this character here. I'll open up the blueprint for this character. This is a MetaHuman blueprint. So under the viewport, I'm going to find the body. I just click body from there instead. And I'm going to search for the body. Okay. Okay, so this is the mesh for the body. I've got a number of duplicates here because I've been doing different things with the characters. So yours might not look like this. Yours will probably just be this one here. Okay. So anyway, I'll just select this. I can actually choose any of these because they're all using the same skeleton. So yeah, I'll select this and I'll click on the button there. This use selected asset from content browser. Okay, and I'll choose a folder. I'll just make a new folder here. I'll call it MetaHuman Retargeted. And I'll click on OK. And I'll hit retarget. I don't know why it takes long. Sometimes it's really just doing very, very little work, but sometimes it takes long. So anyway, this is the slot 3. Okay. So now I want to apply slot 3 to the body of this character. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to find the body. If you're doing this for the first time, I recommend you make a duplicate and apply it to the body so that you don't affect the original body. So anyway, I'll open up the body that this character is using, and I'll search for post-process. That's post-process on MBP. Okay, I'll look for slot 3. Okay, that's slot 3. This is the one we just retargeted. So it created this as a new animation blueprint. So I'll choose that, and I'll save that. Okay. So the physics are a little bit crazy. So now if I click play, everything looks the same, but if I choose slot 8, only this character will change to slot 8. Our original character here, well, not original, the character that we were working on has now kept slot 3. Okay. So that way I can have a specific slot work on a specific character. Okay. So yeah, if you've got multiple characters, maybe you're using 18 characters with all 18 slots, this is how you can add that specific slot to a specific character. This also applies to characters other than metahumans. You can do it with the mannequin character. You can do it with your own character if that's what you're using the MetaBody tool for. So yeah, that's basically the process there. Okay. So next up, we're going to look at using the MetaBody tool with metahumans. With Sequencer. Okay. We're going to use a metahuman to do that because the metahumans specifically do tend to have slightly more issues with Sequencer than an average character. So that's why I want to use a metahuman so that we can also see how we can iron out those extra issues. Okay, so we'll begin on that. I'll click stop. And I'm just going to delete this character. It's no longer necessary. We've already looked at how we can have 2 separate characters with separate blueprints. So I'll delete that. The issue we were seeing there with the head, usually you just have to reload the character and it will be okay. So the head isn't falling through the costume anymore. So anyway, I'll get rid of that. So now, using Sequencer, okay, I'm going to find this character blueprint, and I'll just make a new sequence. I'll just make it in here for the sake of having everything in one place. So I'll type sequence there and create a new level sequence. I'll call it, what do I call it? I'll just call it Hannah sequence. I'll save that and I'll drop it in the level. Okay, so we have the sequence in the level there. Okay. So before I add this character to the sequence topic on using the animation slots, okay, let's say, for example, I click play and I want to use slot 8. Okay, I'll set this to slot 8 and I'll press stop. But you'll notice that slot 8 is not actually displaying in my viewport here. Okay, so if I want to see slot 8 in the viewport here, okay, the thing that I have to do is I have to go to the Meta Body Tool controller. Okay, so in here it's saved as, rather it's been added to the level as an AnimBP controller. Okay, this is probably not what yours is going to be called, because I created this level before I actually completed the project, and I decided to call the blueprint BP Meta Body Tool. Okay, so this is what is going to be named in your case. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that name and change the name here in the details panel. Okay, I think I just have to right click and rename. There's no rename there. Maybe if I double click here. Okay, so I'll just paste the name there so that we don't get confused. Okay, so this is BP Meta Body Tool. That's the one we find here. Okay, so when you've clicked on BP Meta Body Tool in your level, okay, this is the one here. Okay, I usually keep it in the same position as the character so that when I click play, my camera is in the proper position. Okay, so anyway, when you click on the BP Meta Body Tool in the level, right now you can see that it's set to slot 3. By default, it's actually set to slot 1. Okay, so if you want to see slot 8, because I'm going to be working, I just need to deselect slot 1 and I need to choose slot 8. Okay, and now I can hide that, and if I go to my MetaHuman blueprint, I can click on Use Live Link Body, and this will actually update it to slot 8. Okay, if I disable that again, it's not going to make any changes. Okay, so that's one way I can see the slot I want to work with in the blueprint. If you don't necessarily need to use click on Use Live Link, the other thing you can do is simply just reopen the level. Okay, if you reopen the level, it will update. It will update the shape of the body in the level. So yeah, either you can click on the blueprint and click on Use Live Link Body, or you can reload the level. If you are not using a MetaHuman character, you won't have this button. So the best thing you can do is reload the level. Okay, or you can just edit your blueprint and make it update the character animation blueprint in the viewport using a function. Okay, I'll make a separate tutorial on that, but there's a function that you can use to like get a live update of your character in the viewport. So whatever animations are playing in your animation blueprint will be actually displayed live in the viewport. We'll touch on that subject on another tutorial. Okay, so anyway, let's get down to business using sequencer with Meta Body Tool. Okay, so I've got my animation sequence here. Not animation sequence, I've got my level sequence here. Okay, so I'll open up that level sequence. Okay, and when we add the MetaHuman to the level sequence, you'll see the number one reason why I've decided to use a MetaHuman in this tutorial. Let's click on our MetaHuman, and under track, let's add actor to sequence and add AnimBP controller too. This is actually the HANA BP. Okay, so I'm just going to rename that as well. I'll copy that and double click here. Okay, I'm not really sure how we rename these objects. I guess things have changed in this version of Unreal Engine. I should be able to rename it. Okay, I think this is the easiest way to do it. Usually I'll just double click here or something like that. But anyway, it's whatever. So yeah, I'll add the name here. Okay. And the next thing I'll do is I'll add it to the level sequence. And it's just creating probably the control rig and giving us all the options there. Okay, so we've added the character to our level sequence now. Okay, so now the issue with MetaHumans, not just MetaHumans, I guess this could also be on a regular character as well. Mostly you'll be okay, but if you want to use an animation rig, like you see here, we've got an animation rig which I can use to make changes to the pose of my character. Okay, so for example, if I want to, let's say I want to move the leg. Okay, I can lift this up and the leg will be lifted up and all the rest of that. But one thing you'll notice is that my rig is no longer in position the way it would usually be with a regular MetaHuman. Okay. The original position of this character, if I click on play here, I'll be able to see that. The original position of this character, if I deactivate the height here, I'm on the wrong slot. Let me go to slot 8. If I deactivate the height, this is the original height of the character. Okay, so if I press stop and I click on that character and just update it by clicking on use live link, I think it's already updated. Okay, so now you'll notice that since I've turned off the height modification, the controllers are now in the correct place. Okay, all the finger controllers and everything else, it's all in the correct place. Okay, the head controllers and all the rest of that. Okay, but if I have my height modifications actually, if I have my height modifications affecting the body of the character, or for example, if I turn it back on, you'll notice that things have been misaligned again. Okay, so that's one of the byproducts of using the MetaBody tool to adjust the height of the character. Your controllers will not be in the correct positions, and unfortunately, without fixing that manually within the within the blueprint that the controllers were made in, you won't really get 100% alignment. Okay, so that's just one of the issues I wanted to let you guys know about. So in order to get past this, what I usually, or rather to work around it, what I usually do is I'll pose the character with the height turned off. Okay, slot 8, I'll turn off the height. And then I'll pose my character with the height turned off. Let's say I want to make a very, very quick and simple pose. Let me just make sure that my changes are being saved in here. So I'm just going to key everything. So MetaHuman rig, I'm going to key everything on the first frame, and I'm going to key everything on, let's say, -10. Okay. So that from my first frame, I've got my pose. Okay. And I'm going to turn on key all. Okay, make sure key all is turned on so that all the changes you make are actually keyed. So I'm going to pose the character. I'm just going to go for a very quick and simple pose. I can't really see the controllers. Oh, actually, I'm already selected on the controllers. Yeah, I'll go for a quick and simple pose, maybe just a standing pose. I'm going to rotate the leg just a little bit there, put it out, and maybe put one leg a little bit far back, a little bit back, and I'll pull the character back up again. Let me just turn off the grid. Yeah, so I'm sure you can notice that the controllers are not 100% aligned. That's because the Meta Body tool is active. I'm pretty sure that the spacing between the thighs is a little bit modified, so that's why the legs are a little bit apart compared to the original control rig. So yeah, I'm gonna rotate the arms. Pull it back just a little bit. Okay, I'll rotate the arms over here and kind of put them on her thighs there. Probably they should be on their waist, but I'm just doing like a quick thing here, quick pose here. I'll try and do the same thing with the other arm. Put the arms on the thighs there as well. And yeah, I've got a pose now. Okay, very, very simple pose. Maybe I'll rotate the head just a little bit. And the eyes. I'll select the eyes and just kind of make them look like they're looking forward. And maybe change the expression just a little bit. Okay, I'm not sure if she's looking at the camera exactly, but I'll just save all that and click on play. And yeah, we've got a bit of a pose there. Okay, so now I'm going to reactivate the height. So I'll jump to slot 8. I think in the final version of the Meta Body tool, because I'm actually using a in development version for some updates which I'll post later on, but it automatically switches to the last slot you use in probably the version you have downloaded. So I don't have to switch slot 8. So you don't have to switch to slot 8 all the time. Okay. But I'm working on some updates. I've turned off something, so it's just slightly a little bit different. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I can adjust the height afterwards. Okay, after I've posed my character, and yeah, this version has the adjusted height, and you see that even if you pose your character with the original height, the results will probably translate correctly unless you're doing something really complicated, like maybe, let's say you've got 2 characters shaking hands or something like that. Then I wouldn't really recommend posing your character using the original height. You can still do it, but you can pose it in the original height and then turn on the height modifications afterwards and make further adjustments with the height modifications applied so that you get the exact position. Because if 2 characters are shaking hands, for example, the arms will mismatch once you adjust the height. So once you've made your pose, you can make further adjustments once you've adjusted you've applied the height adjustments. I hope you know what I mean. So anyway, basically, in a nutshell, you pose your character using the original height so that you have your controllers in the right position. And then once you've posed the character, you can apply the height adjustment and then make further adjustments in case there's any misalignment. Okay. So yeah, basically, this is how you can pose your character using the sequencer and also do some animations. Yeah, I think basically that covers using the MetaBody tool with the sequencer. There's only one last thing that we have to look at. I'm going to save everything, and I'm going to click on our MetaHuman blueprint here. Okay, I'll close down the sequencer for a second. I'm going to click on the MetaHuman blueprint, and if I open up my MetaHuman blueprint here, there might be a case where you might want to have the MetaBody tool as your primary animation blueprint. I don't really recommend that, but if you have the MetaHuman body tool as your primary blueprint, instead of having it as a post-process animation blueprint, you are going to want to have use LiveLink body active all the time. So anyway, that brings us to the end of the tutorial. Okay, we've covered using the different animation slots on separate characters, and we've also covered using sequencer. We've also covered use LiveLink body. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next tutorial.